Okay, so let's look at what's known as a piecewise function. So a piecewise function just means it's just straight lines attached together in any kind of configuration. So if I look, it says to state the transformations. So I'm going to start here on the outside, and then I'm going to work my way across left to right. So we have a vertical stretch of 2. This is whatever function it is. So in this case, it's a piecewise function. Then I have the negative inside, which means a horizontal reflection in the y-axis. Then we have a 3. Inside the brackets always lie. So it means we have a horizontal compression of 3. Then we have -1, but really, again, brackets lie. So we have a horizontal translation, right 1. And finally, we have a vertical translation, up 4. So to graph a piecewise function, what I want to do is I want to look for key points. So I'm going to go through and just put key points, which is mean basically where the line stops and starts. So I'm going to put a point here, and a point here. And that's enough. I don't need more points than that. So I'm going to read a graph left to right. So I'm going to start here on the left. So I am at -3 and 0. Next point is 0 and 2. Last point is 6 and -1. And then I look at, well, what is the graph doing? So I look at what does it do to x. X is on the inside and it lies. And I look at what's it doing to y. The y is on the outside and does what it's supposed to do. So it means that y is going to be times 2 and add 4. And x is going to be divide by -3 and add 1. So to all of these values in x, I'm going to divide by -3 and add 1. So that gives me 2, 1, -1. For all the y values, I'm going to multiply by 2 and add 4. So I'm going to multiply all of these by 2 and add 4, which will give me 4, 8, and 2. So now I'm going to take these points and graph them, and it should look similar, although changed, to the other one. So I'm going to go 2 and 4. I'm going to go 1 and 8. And then I'm going to go -1 and 2. And then I'm going to join them together. And they should form something very similar to what you had in the original function. There's the horizontal reflection, which makes it look a little backwards, but other than that, and squished and things like that, but other than that, it looks similar to what we originally had. What's the domain and range for the transformed function? So if I look, the domain will be XER. So the domain goes from here to here. So it goes from -1 to 2. And the range goes from here to here. So the range goes from 2 to 8. So if we look at the next one, another piecewise function, this function is called g. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, so there is a vertical compression of 4. There is a horizontal stretch of 2. Then we're going to go horizontal translation, left 3, and a vertical translation, down 5. Okay, so again, what I want to do is I want to find key value. So I start here, and here, and here, start here, and here. And so those are the points that I'm going to use to create a table of values. So if I start over here, I'm at -5 and -8. Next point is there. We're at -3 and 6. Again, reading left to right, we're at -2 and 4 and -4. Going over, we're at 1 and -4. And the last point is 5 and 12. So again, anything on the outside will affect y. So that's the 1/4 and the -5. Anything on the inside will affect x. So 1/2 and +3. Anything on the inside lies. So we're going to multiply by 2 and subtract 3. We're going to divide by 4 and subtract 5 because the outside tells the truth. So I'm going to take all these values of x, I'm going to multiply them by 2 and subtract 3. This gives me -13, -9, -7, -1, and 7. Now I'm going to take these values of y, I'm going to divide them by 4 and subtract 5. So I get -7, -3.5, -6, -6, and -2. Now I can graph these. So we're at -13 and -7, -9 and -1, 2, 3.5. And sometimes if there's many points, to graph them as you do them. And then -1. And then 7 and 2. Okay, and again, it should look something similar to what you had, but stretched, compressed, or reflected. Okay, so now we want the domain and range of the transformed function. So the domain are the values of x. So x can go from -13 to 7. And the y values go from -7 to -2.